In this video, we will configure our VCS cluster. So in order to configure, we will invoke the same installer script by /installer, and then we will pass the -configure parameter to this script. Press enter. The configuration utility has begun. Here it asks us to select the product which we want to configure. In our case, we want to do number 4, which is Veritas InfoScale Enterprise, and then press enter. From the list of softwares, we will choose number 3, Storage Foundation and High Availability. Now we have to supply the server names again. We will type server 1 space server 2 and then press the enter key. The installer is checking the systems again. We will say yes to proceed and press the enter key. Here, the Veritas Cloud Receiver, we need to enter the edge server's name. As per the instructions, we can enter this telemetry.veritas.com. So I will copy this name and then paste it in here. Press the enter key. If you remember, the Veritas cluster server uses the IO fencing. IO fencing we already discussed in previous sections. Now the Veritas cluster is asking us if we want to enable the IO fencing. We will say yes. Now in this screen, the installer is just telling us that there will be a bunch of options available for you to choose from. You can navigate through previous configuration files by V. If you need any help, you can press the question mark key. Now in this screen, we will simply press enter. In this screen, we have to provide a cluster name. The cluster name should be unique as well. So we will simply type cluster 1 since this is the first cluster we are configuring. Here in the next screen, we have to configure the heartbeat links. We can manually configure the LLT or low latency transport links over Ethernet or different protocols, or we can select number 5 to automatically detect the configuration. In our case, I will select number 5 and then press enter. The program is giving us just a warning saying only activated NICs will be detected. Since we already know our NICs are activated and their IP addresses are assigned, we will press enter. Now the installer is checking the NIC configuration on both of our servers. Okay, as we discussed earlier in the lectures, we saw the VCS cluster needs a unique cluster ID. If you don't provide your own ID, the installer, it generates an ID by itself. In our case, we will select the default ID, whatever is provided to us by the installer. Press enter. Here you can perform a check if this cluster ID is being used by any other cluster. Simply press enter. Most likely we already know because this is the first time we are installing the VCS cluster on these nodes. There is no other cluster present, so this ID, the one provided by installer, will not be in use anywhere else. Okay, so the duplicate ID detection has been passed. We can press enter to continue. Here the installer has found our heartbeat links as well. From the summary information, we have the cluster name as cluster 1, the cluster ID. The heartbeat links are configured. Link 1 as 0S8, which is private link. Link 2 as 0S9, which we configured the second private link. Information seems okay, so we will press Y and then enter key. Now we have to provide a virtual IP address. Let's do a small recap about virtual IP address. As we have talked about previously in one of these slides, the Veritas cluster server combines 2 or more nodes to form a cluster. Each node can run application, or you can say the application run on any node without letting the client machine know where it is running from. This is where the virtual IP comes in. Once we form a cluster, we assign a virtual IP address. Whenever VCS detects a failure, that virtual IP address is moved to the new node, which is surviving node. In our configuration wizard, this is exactly what the installer is asking. So here we will say we want to configure the virtual IP to yes. The installer has detected that we can use ENP0S3 link. So we will select this one and then press enter. Installer is just making sure that every single node has the same network card. So if the network card name is different on the other node, we can type that manually in here. But in our case, we know the ENP0S3 also exists on server 2. So we will say Y and enter. The virtual IP address for the cluster should be unique address which is available on your network. This virtual IP address will be moved to the different node if something happens to the original node as we discussed earlier. I will use the virtual IP address 10.0.0.120 and press enter key. The net mask we will choose 255.255.255 and then press enter. Here the installer program is asking us if information is correct. So we are okay. I will say yes and then press enter key. Now the installer wants us to know if we want to run the cluster in a secure mode. We don't want to run the cluster in secure mode, so I will say no and then press enter. It's just a double checking if we are really sure about running the cluster in non-secure mode. I will say yes and then press enter key. Now installer is asking if we want to provide the username and password for our cluster administrator account. By default, it automatically generates one for us, which is admin and lowercase password. We are okay with it, so I will say yes. We don't want to add another user, so I will say no. Here the information is correct. We agree and say Y and then press enter key. We don't want to configure SMTP notifications, so I will say no and then press enter key. Neither we do need SNMP, so I will say no and then enter. Here it's asking if we want to configure the global cluster options. We don't want that either, so I will say no and then press enter. Now the installer wants us, in order to proceed, we need to make sure all services are stopped. So I will say yes, go ahead, stop the services and configure our cluster. The installer program will go through the 11 steps to make sure our cluster is configured, up and running. Here additional 22 tasks are added, which will make sure all packages, all services are up and running for a successful VCS installation. We have to select the mechanism for fencing. In this case, we will select number 3, which is configure majority based fencing. Since we don't have spare disk or SANs in place to utilize the disk related IO fencing, we will do number 3. Press enter. The installer is giving us warning about the majority based IO fencing, which means it says if in case the split brain happens, the cluster nodes can die. We don't have to worry about it for now, so we will just simply say yes to continue. Our storage environment does not support SCSI i3PR, so we will say no. Now the installer is giving us warning about HAD or high availability daemon and its processes will be stopped to configure the IO fencing. We will say yes, go ahead, stop them. You can see the VCS services are being stopped on both servers. And now the installer is trying to start all those services which were stopped. Alright, so configuration has been completed successfully. The installer is giving us an option if we want to view the summary file. We don't want to view the summary file in our case. I will select no and then press enter.